Hey, hello everybody. If you were to walk into the basement of my mother and father's house, which is a couple hours north of me, what you see on the screen would be a somewhat accurate reflection of what you would see if you were to approach the furnace. Now, they have a fuel oil furnace in their house. To the left of that fuel oil furnace is this massive fuel oil tank. I have no idea how many gallons it is, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was 100 gallons or more. And none of this is to scale, obviously. This is just kind of a graphic illustration to show you what's there. Now, I don't think I have to explain to anybody what a furnace does. Fuel oil goes into a burner rack, and this fuel oil furnace, it becomes a flame, and hot air blows throughout the house. Okay, so the whole time I was growing up, I looked at that, and as I became more technically literate in my adult years, I kept asking this rhetorical question of why somebody didn't think to put something like this, which is my very simple stick figure illustration of an 8.5 kilowatt diesel generator. Now, this to the left, this does one job. This burns something and heats air. This does two jobs or more. This could provide the power for the house, and the waste heat from this process could be used to heat the house. It could also be used to heat your hot water. Let's say your house is plenty warm, needed some power, and you diverted it off to melt the snow off of your sidewalk. There's all kinds of work this could do. It could be set up in a myriad of different ways that would be useful. And the best part of it is if, let's say, the power lines become covered with ice and a tree falls over on it and you're without power. Well, in this model to the right, you're not without power. You have power and heat, and you're not at the mercy of the power lines or the power company who might get around to fixing those down lines in a week. This is actually a process called cogeneration, and it's a relatively new idea. Richard Buckminster Fuller was experimenting with this in houses like, I don't know, 40s, 50s, 60s. So people who make houses aren't quite up on this yet. I guess the point I want to make here is these are not complicated ideas. And you would think that someone somewhere would have said, here, maybe we could do this and we could take a little bit of load off of the power station. And I know someone right now is looking at this and saying, well, diesel generators are noisy. We'd have to do something about the noise. Which that's not a hard problem. You could have enclosed it in a box. You could have put it out in a box outside. Attenuating the noise from a diesel generator is not rocket science. In fact, there's a way you could set it up where the thing would run so quiet you could hear the valves clack in it. But people like to come up with all these rationalizations of why things wouldn't work instead of looking for the ways they could make them work. Anyway, this is actually just something I kind of wanted to get off my chest. Thought I'd share it with everybody. If you have any thoughts on this, please do leave them in the comments. And I want to thank you very much for watching the video.